live on there. I was looking at ARM too. I mean that there is a lot of stocks, taken, and that's what we're gonna do is kind of get an idea of what all is happening. But I am looking at the cues, and I'll walk you guys through why I'm looking at them the way I am. But let me go ahead and go live on TikTok. What's going on, Brock? Afternoon. All right, live everywhere. All right, so um, like I said, I know there is, and I can definitely understand why, but um, there is a couple of things that I was looking at here as we go into the end of the day. And I'm going to go over this a couple of times. So, uh, but on these big legs down, or even when we saw this leg down, those gaps, right? Those floors, those typically get filled when price doesn't actually reclaim something that it needs to. And so when I look at this, like you could have been convinced on this day, or maybe even here, that price was going to retrace. But what it didn't do is it didn't get above where it needed to be, right? And so with that, it does obviously have an impact on where price can go from there. Now, that same level obviously is still the overhead cage, and once we're above that, like I said before, that's when the bullishness returns. So, um, and just to go ahead and be transparent, yes, I'm still in profits, not what I was, but I am. He created a new account like you. Uh-huh. It's cute. Yeah, I know. I love bothering him. Oh yeah, he blocked me. Yeah, it's funny. Oh, let's see here. You got puts? Yeah, but again, I'm up here. So, but that being said, again, as we move into the end of the day, my decision on what I do with these, obviously is my own, but it is this candle close and where we close and what's underneath us. It's not anything insane or beautiful, and we have spent all day up against this wall, which can be both, again, putting sellers in a really tough place. But at this point, right, we're sitting in between us and that next leg up, which is 610. Yes, there is empty space. Yes, there's a full reversal, empty space up there, for continuation to the upside. And so I am not ignoring it, but just preparing for, again, nothing on the chart has completely reversed in a way where I'm like, yeah, we're bullish. One green candle doesn't always do it for me. All right. Yeah, if anybody's Alex Trades Options is apparently having a humbug over me right now on his live stream. I don't know why. Let's see. Now, a lot of different setups moved up, and IWM obviously is up exactly where we talked about it resting, which was right up against that 264. And it is, whoo boy, pretty close to potentially popping its top off and going up to two. That's 269.33. And that is perfectly possible after a solid retest, reclaim, and move back up. And with this huge engulfment candle, it is, regardless, it is 265 that needs to be broken, but we can acknowledge that there is a potential punchback there. So again, as we move into the end of the day, we're looking for signs of that strength. And typically, if people are convinced, they're going to hold through those, and you won't see that sell off as we get to the end of the day. My boy got about $100 his portfolio with the three. Who are you talking about? Who's this guy talking about? Um, QQQ. Yeah, we just went over that. We'll go over it. I haven't list IWM pumped like that, man, because it hit a major structure underneath it. I've been wondering about ICC and doing okay, but I'm wondering if SMC is good. Is it trending? Is everybody using it? Then probably not. Personally, ICC, all of this, it's all just, again, but what if you want to, check it out, but I've never seen the allure in overcomplicating the markets. You can sound smart, but you're not really saying anything. So it's got some bangers on it. Yeah, I'll check it out, man. What should I use, bro? I'm new to this trading space. So you should kind of chill, man. You know what I mean? Like be more observant rather than more jumpy to jump onto anybody's strategy. Remember, everybody's trying to sell you some shit. So if they've got a fucking code in their profile for an Apex account, if they're trading by their bed, like that shit is not working for them. It's just not. Um, and there's the main ones that sell it, and they obviously have the best advertisement, but my thing is just like stick around, don't jump into anything, watch what those people have to say, listen to how they explain, see if it works not only once but a couple of times. um yeah, I mean that's if I made the mistake of jumping and latching on to the first, thing I thought that made sense, but I didn't know what made sense. I didn't know what was right, and neither did he. So he said you target children, 18, 19, or 20-year olds that don't know how to wipe their ass. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, Even though the average age of the members in my group are between 28 and 40. Yeah, now he's talking shit about you guys. That's crazy. He
That's crazy.
I mean, you know what though? Dude, I think he's a bad human being. The way you speak to your children, and the fact that he did it on camera. Imagine what that little girl has to go through when the cameras are off. I'm being 100% real. That shit's whack. I have no respect for dads like that, dude. Oh, my future, I'm making a sacrifice. Shut the fuck up and be a good dad. Sorry. All right. All right. So, moving forward, we'll watch this as we move into the end of the day. Spy is obviously going to be in that category as well. We do have all of the things that we need to potentially, and with this candle especially, right? We do have to look at that empty space directly up above us because we are one trigger away from filling it, right? And that could spell new highs. Yeah, it's not a box, but it is above 690.77 next week. So are we there? No. But 690.77, and that is more than likely going to give you all-time highs. That is the reason why, because there is no. I was actually thinking about this saying earlier. Travel the path of least resistance, and that's always where stocks move the fastest, and that's where I would suspect that would occur. So again, we're watching as we move it in the end of the day, and we are separated between this and that. So, what's up, Burb? All right. Where am I based out of? East Coast. I'm in Georgia. Coastal. All right. Now, yeah, Betty knows. If you have anything that you would like for me to take a look at, that's all this time is used for as we get to 3 o'clock and we'll start watching these ETFs a little bit closer to see the results. The cues as we speak are starting to pull back away from that overhead. The further they get away from it, the less likely it is that we make that move overnight, and the higher probability it is that you could go into the weekend without any stress or without feeling like you took a position that you shouldn't have. So that's what we're watching. Viking Gamer, how am I? I'm doing great, man. Doing really good. All right, let's see what we got. Bye. Yeah, just flood that man's live. Alrighty. Um, Thoughts on Pfizer? Let's see here. Pfizer, that looks, if I remember correctly, right? Yep, it was just, and you've already wicked off of it. It was just those. And you are closing and looking like you are going to close outside of it, which would be executing that punchback, which would leave me with no other choice than to place a target at 2887. Um, all right, I'm going to retract that and I'm going to move it to 2850. So that would be the first, excuse me, this would be the first and second targets, 2784 and 2855. Now, of course, with this all, right, floor being recovered, this whole space right here being pushed, of course, you could look further. And the next target, if you're longer expiration, could be as high as 30 bucks. Hey, bro, I want you to know that Jesus loves you. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. I appreciate it. Damn, that yawn about took me out right there. I think I saw every deity when I did that. Yeah. All right. AMD. Yeah, let's take a look at it. Hey, what's going on? All right, AMD weekly. So remember to check out those weekly candles, right? We're at the end of the week. Looking at this one, rather interesting because again, you had this red one here. That wick travels all the way up, so there's definitely a chance of retest, and that's really all we can call for this or say about it at the moment. Is this is a start of a retest, which if that test is passed, of course, we could see that continuation. And yes, this has amazing empty space. So let's investigate. So just looking, right? The first thing that we can go ahead and mark off is that we have secured the candle close 194 or 198.44. And if we want to be a little bit more stringent, we could also say 200 has been reclaimed. That box that stood in your way, we're more than likely going to be using it as a retest level here today. But again, turn your eyes to your left and what you had to break in order to get there. So the next target, in my humble opinion here, is going to be directly up above you at 211. And once that is surpassed, you can then go test that 288, and the rest is subject to a potential reversal. Now, one thing about today, right? That we're remembering as we go into the end of this close here, and as we watch the end of this close, big green reversals like this do not always mean you're going to that empty space. Okay, we are in a bear market, even with this green candle today. Could it start a potential reversal back up? I think you look at SPY and you could make that case for sure. Q's, which has been the weakest sector, right, and took a gnarly fall, probably bigger than all both of them. This one is lagging behind. So again, as we go into the end of the day, I'm looking to see whether or not this is going to be a trade that I'll take to the upside in order to hedge my position. So, all right. Uh, I did go through it. Yeah. Hopefully close those out. Is it worth opening a position on Friday, close to hold into next week with time decay? See, we just add yeah, we did get market structure for sure. I mean, if look at Melly, I mean, you spent how long? From November of 2025, beginning of November, all the way until January, and then you finally get 2 days at the highs and you immediately reverse and close underneath everything that those sellers had been our buyers had been working to push and reverse over. And so you shifted back underneath their control. And as of, again, this short has already been mostly taken down, but that there's a retest level now where we could shift gears again. But I look at the overhead on Qs, and man, if you can whiplash back up through that, I'll be fucking floored. Floored. Because that is a tremendous, and it's possible. We've done it. We've literally done it before. But it did that same setup that I'm talking about right now with the 1, 2, 3 struggling for months and months, and then you finally get the high, and then you sink back underneath. That ushered in bear market, right? And you had a big green candle recovering the floor, and you got the retest up at the floors that you lost. So your buddy from the Philippines, Alex, said, Boss Potter, it seems like the cold is delicious. What's that mean? All right, let's see here. What else are we looking at here by the end of the day? No, I don't think it's worth taking a position on the Qs. No, no, not right now. Here's what, yeah, I mean, not, we have a, uh, I mean, piss powered fucking, rejection at 609, right? So sellers aren't doing their job. And by the end of the day, that's what I'm looking to interpret, right? Because there is holes up above. And I'm not going to hang on to a bias, to the point where, it ends up going, I'm stuck not being able to shift gears and take this up because this is a fucking phenomenal trade to the upside. If we're in here, right? If we're able to work through that 614, this is a big move and definitely could put us back up in that 628 category, which could definitely send us into the highs. So, um, so I think some things you just don't have to rush. If you are on TikTok, if you don't mind tapping your screen, just like 30 seconds, that'd be fire. All right, guys. Potter is literally the best dude. Is honest and helpful. Great. Oh, thanks, DC Dad. Appreciate that. All righty. What else? So don't hold cues over the weekend. I don't know what you have. I'm not exactly sure what you have, but what I'm trying to show people, right? And this is what I'm looking for is on these big legs down. Look, big leg down. Gap the fuck up. What do you grab? You grab nothing. You just test it. Next day, complete reversal, right? Now you you pop back up. Um, but it's not a straight line. And I look right here, big leg down, right here. You open up, flush down, pop up, reclaim nothing. And then even if you say, well, I could reclaim that, you would still have to get your fingers on some sort of floor above. You fail, you drop, right? So does a big green engulfment candle or a big green candle like this say that we are going to go back up? No, it doesn't. What does a candle closing, and it's getting close, on something, right? The reason we bounce is because we bounce off something. The reason we go up is because we've reclaimed something that sellers don't want us to and buyers are supporting, right? Yellow candles? I think you might be colorblind, or maybe I am. But those aren't yellow. I don't think. Are those yellows, guy? Maybe I'm tripping. All right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but he's an angry little guy. Look at his little lip pursed. He's just so angry. I'm sorry. All right, we're done. Back to business. Just a little bit. Just a little taste. All right, so let's take a look at that chart that you just posted here. Unity software. Okay. So this is not my chart. This is a student in my thank you. I appreciate that. Um but so that's obviously, this right here, if that's a floor, fine, but that you need to box that up, right? So if I'm interpreting this chart, I really don't have much to go with. I do see your floor right there, and I agree, yes, that separates you from your empty space. So if you're just using that, keeping your chart clean and aiming for the floor, yes, that is the reaction that you're waiting on. That guy blocked you. He's got to have the world's longest. You know what? I'll make a video asking him. I'll tell him I'll pay him to just make a video scrolling down his block list. That would be good stuff. All right, so Unity software. Let's take a look at it myself and see what we can see. So definitely an opportunity here with all of that empty space, right? Now, as far as where you're at,
Fuck Unity.
you said fuck Unity. Okay, so you got the Chad fuck Unity stamp of unapproval. Um, so just keep that in mind while you're maybe suffering through this. But I say that, I mean, off of a good solid bounce like this, you would be looking in the lower time frame to navigate a trade back up to $28 for retest. And do you see that shit? Do you guys do like this shit is fire? Drop down to the 4, all of a sudden the analysis is even cleaner. And yes, to your point, we need that. If we get that, we get this. But by getting that, what do we also get? The retest that I'm talking about overhead. Problem solved. Well, well, well. Look how the turntables have turned. Hey, Starbucks are up. Yeah, them contracts are hot dog water though. Again, like I said, once a candle closes outside of that control, you're just looking overhead to the next point of control. And on Starbucks, as far as I'm concerned, and yes, your box is 100% correct, by the way. As far as I'm concerned, it's maybe literally just looking over to your left at what you had to break down in order to get here. And if I'm not wrong, I might be wrong. So I would look at 180, and I bet you that probably translates. Hold on. Look at it. Look, guys. Every answer is on the chart. So that would be a first target of mine and floor to recover. So you're on your way.
Why do you say the contracts are bad? I'm just asking because I have some.
Can I be your gamer girl? I am married very happily. No, thank you. But I can teach you about stocks. Okay.
I also want to know if you think 1 or 2 weeks is a good expiration for those.
Or what journey are you taking those on? What's your target?
100s.
You're fine.
Or
I
no,
think 2
sorry,
weeks.
not 100s.
Oh,
102s.
2 weeks out? Is that what you said?
Okay.
No, no, no. I mean,
No,
that's.
a week out.
I,
I was just wondering. Yeah, because we have that consolidation right there, right?
yeah, I mean, this is if you look over here, it's been a level. There's been some fight here. So, yeah, I mean, I think knowing that I mean, I think 2 weeks just keeps it safe. You know what I mean? Especially
Yeah,
with
sure
something.
thing.
Yeah, just to keep that one. But yeah, 102 and is another resistance. Let's see how, let me move that there. I want to see what that looks like down there. Okay. Okay, so just another lower time frame floor at 101.60. So I mean, look, if you actually break this little shit down, that me saying that in public would be not acceptable. But look at this. Stomp that shit down. 103 and 180. Those are both those levels that we just talked about on the Qs or on SPY. So above that 103, it would just be the wicks at 104. So it's not a lot of complicated things that you have to move through in order to get there, but you do. How do you make your box extend all the way to the right? Witchcraft. No, you go to your settings, or you actually, sorry, no, you double click on the box and go to extend right.
Some really good volume at 105s 2 weeks out. They're 25 cents.
Okay, I'll take a look at those. What are my thoughts on mRNA earnings to the downside? It's so close, right? It's so close. I don't know if that would be worth it. I don't know what the contracts are looking like. Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, I mean, I kind of, yeah, do see this one coming back down to 35. Now listen, earnings is it's a month's worth of volatility in, you know, a minute. You know, I mean, it literally is. So a lot of the times, like something this close could be wicked off of, and you could be closing straight back up. So, but yeah, I mean, that's what I. It's kind of hard to call for anything, you know, up other than a retest of 48. But what chart program do I use? This is TradingView. Why did my chart go over like that? Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's see here. I like spot up, but not exciting about the potential with the or about the potential with earnings approaching maybe 3 to 4 weeks out. Yeah, and there might be a better strategic place to do that. I mean, you know, for me, it's always box to box, and you know, sometimes there's an anomaly or two, but I really don't see anything past here. And what I think that's is that right? Did I say imbalance? Okay, well, if I didn't, that's what it is, right? We're kind of hanging around. I'm going to assume that we're making a box right there. I would assume correctly. Just real quick, how did I assume that there's a box there? Because you have a small ass 24-hour candle. So what do you think that price is doing all smushed up in there? Right? So there it is. Now there is separation, right, between the two of them. So you can't squeeze those together. There is separation. And so we'll keep that separation and move down. Ah, cleaner, even better. Separation, down. So the answer here, right, is obviously a candle close 424.30 for a potential move back up to the upside. So, and because you don't have anything to go off of, no 24-hour box, you just have one 24-hour candle off of an imbalance, tread lightly. I like to trade coming out of structure. It's my safety net. So when I just, like even today, guys, to these days where you get those big bounces, if I don't catch them, I don't really have much to say, well, like, okay, you know, unless we can go and grab a floor up above us, like that's maybe where we could, you know, shift that that entry and set our stop loss on something. But uh CKQ, what the fuck is that? All right, what else do we got here? CCL 24-hour up. Yeah, actually, I think some people in here are. You got one thing to break, folks. I believe it's going to be right there. Let's double check. Holy shit! Get rid of all that. Yes. So, I mean, this is great. Obviously, moving the way that you are. Yeah. So you are looking for a 3411 break. And because of all of that empty space up there, which is a lot, right? The only thing, it is a lot. So I'm going to look right here at 3670 as a potential target outside of it. Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, I don't have that one, man. Obviously. What CKQ is in War Brokers? Interesting. All right, let's see here. Yeah, tap the screen if you can. If you're on TikTok, I really do appreciate it. So, as far as Elf's weekly candle is concerned, we did manage to pull ourselves back up out of that 8180 on the 24-hour. I'm not really super impressed, if I'm being 1,000% honest with you. And I won't be until we actually. It's just as simple as like it needs to fucking punch back, right? Or not punch back, but it needs to move through that box again. And that's where things can really pop off. So until then, I wait. Hero FX? Hero FX. Is that a good broker? There's no way. There's no way that's a good broker. Hero FX? That sounds like a video game. Is it unregulated? Yes, it's a unregulated, high-risk offshore brokerage based in the British Virgin Islands, often flagged for lacking investor production and having mixed conflicting user reviews, while some traders report fast crypto-based withdrawals and tight spreads. Significant complaints exist regarding platform freezing, poor support, and potential withdrawal difficulties. And if they ever decided to fucking dip, you're out of luck. Same shit TJR uses. That does not fucking surprise me at all. Yes, yes. Take your fucking investing seriously. Put your money where it's protected, like um I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to learn day trading, but I don't know where to start. You don't know where to start. Oh. So, I mean, I wouldn't want to start if I was you. I would want to watch. I would be paying attention to people's mannerisms. I'd be listening to what the people who follow them say, not just new people. I'd be watching how their trades go. I'd be looking on how, and I would be diverse in that, because this is a this is a dangerous area with people who are just trying to sell you bullshit. And honestly, the image of day trading is also that. I got here I lost $80,000 day trading when I first started because it's the hardest form of trading. And yeah, motherfuckers are fully ingrained in that shit. The ones that do make it work. And as somebody who is coming in as a small fry, you got to know how to sneak your money in and out. And 80 to 90% of market movement is outside of market hours. And this is something that nobody, again, talks about very often. And I'm not saying that there's not intraday movement. I'm talking about the majority of that movement. And so I was able to slip through the cracks by focusing on swing trading. And when I was swing trading, I built my account up and then blew it day trading and then built my account up and blew it fucking day trading. And dude, honestly, Most people shouldn't be day trading. If I'm just being 1,000% honest with you, you shouldn't. You know, like day trading is an opportunity that comes clear. I mean, it pops off the chart to you, but it's mostly always rooted in the higher time frame. Those are the biggest moves. Even if it is a intraday trade, it's a whole lot easier to get into something like that where the opportunity is momentary. But guess what a day trader does? They say, I trade Tesla, I trade SPY, and I trade Qs, and they trade every day, and they don't give a shit about the fact that there is 3 to 4 days of market expansion and then 7 days of consolidation where the trading gets extremely hard and nothing gaps up and nothing gaps down and contracts on both sides get their ass ripped outside. I mean, it is disgusting. And I think that every new trader, if I was to go back and do it all over again, I wouldn't touch day trading. I wouldn't touch it. It would be off limits again. I would have saved myself stress. I was losing my fucking hair, and I'm not even joking. I was losing my hair. When you have $80,000 slip through your damn fingers, when your family needs it, when you need it. Now, the fact that I made $80,000 was also something like I was like, well, I did it. But every single time and I would take some, there's a lot of new people watching me, but I would take small positions or small accounts, $100, $200, and within a month. I mean, I have a shit ton of screenshots of this buried in my phone and shit, probably in the Discord too. But I would take a very small amount and I would get it to 10K. And the thought in my mind was, well, you need capital to trade. Day trade, right? And that's true. But it doesn't mean that you're good at it yet. It doesn't mean that you're going to be good at it. And so I'm talking $80,000. And then I'm like, okay. And I quit. I quit after the $80,000. I said, I can't do this to myself. But then it was like, maybe a month or so later, that I was like, well, why didn't I just take profit at 10K? If I have such a problem with that dollar amount, then start over again. And that is literally where everything changed, because taking profit is also a part of protecting them. You're keeping it away from your grubby little trading fingers. All right, anyway. No, don't use prop firms. Prop firms make it even harder if you're new. Your journey will be even longer, because now not only do you have to learn how to trade, you got to abide by some dumbass rules that are meant for you to trade, are meant for you to lose, because they will tell me that a prop firm doesn't want you to lose. Does anybody on here on TikTok think that prop firms want you to win? Do you think that's a good business model for them? The only people they want to win are influencers. That's it. They don't care about anything else. If they can get some influencers to win, you're locked in. Day trading is fucking hard. I lose at it still. But swing trading's not. Taking longer expiration contracts on higher time frame trades that somehow, I'll take 1,000% over your 30% day trade. I'm not piling in with high amounts of capital. I haven't been fooled by that. You don't need a lot to make a lot. And we have proved that time and time and time again. You know what, if you wanted a fucking prop firm, if you're on TikTok, you could look at this, right? Just take a peek at the cost of some of these things. Right? You could take $15. You could take, let's see here, $9. Here, look at this TikTok. That's $14 to $128, right? You got 2 contracts of that. Boom. Go buy yourself a fucking prop firm if you can't help yourself so you can lose some more money. But low risk, high reward trades via swings, and when you get good at swing trading, when you get what's going on a higher time frame, when that makes the most sense to you, maybe then you can start stepping into that realm. But you know what else? Day trading is so easy to sell. I can take my high capital and I can get into one little tiny little candle, and then I can get out, show you a gain that I over risked to fucking produce, and now I got you. Nah, man, you're actively helping destroy. I mean, you're like, You're fucking people's journey up, dude. And a lot of people end up calling it quits because they're like, dude, this shit don't work. Yeah, probably not, because you just started at max level 10 instead of starting on the ground with the slower, longer expiration, or even if you didn't want to do options. But anyway, I could rant about this shit all day, because it's just all marketing. You take a marketing class, it's marketing. I mean, cars, clothes, bullshit, prop firms. Bro, why aren't you using your own cash? Fund your own shit. So that way you don't have to. Why would you want to abide by a prop firm's rules? But again, if you're new, you just made your journey 10 times harder. And guess what? They got you, because it seems like in your mind, wow, I only need to risk a little bit. Now, Junior and Neil and a couple of other people in the Discord, they took their time. They traded slow. They asked questions. They got good. And then they started learning how to do to day trade. And they have been able to exploit prop firms. But they got good first. And they got money first. So WYAP. Gang gang. All right. Now, somehow cold right now. Not sure why. Yeah, I've started scalping with 5 years. Yeah, man. So you do not recommend day trading at first? No. It's the reason I lost. It's the reason I almost gave up. No. You'll get there, but why would you? Yeah, day trading in itself, man, it destroys people. And then you add prop firms on top of it that need you to lose to win. Come on, man. All right, anyway, let's get into it. It's 3:16, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and really quickly run down what I'm looking for as we get into the close here. Now, as I discussed when I first hopped on board, does a green candle like this and immediately spell for a reversal? No, something needs to be reclaimed. We're very close to that potential reclamation. And yes, all day we have been banging up against 608. And I literally mean all day. All damn day we've been sitting here just ding, 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 not losing it. And it seems like market makers are damn sure adamant about at least driving price up to potentially 610. Now on the 24-hour time frame, is that the next target above us? Yes. Is it really, really close? Also, yes. So that has not been reclaimed. Now you look at the lower time frame. Yes, we do have 606. Yes, we do have 605. So there is some room to speculate on a move back up to 614.25. Contracts on QQQ are extremely expensive. So it might, oh, my bad, TikTok, my bad. So it might be in your best interest to chill the hell out. And find something else, because we like contracts that die, right? And if we do sit here all day and by the end of the day we do not break out, I have seen this before, where you will wick out or open up in here on Monday, wick, and then you'll drop. And that will be the box that I'm referring to. And most reversals come out of actual builds, right? We have the bounces off of builds, off of structure, but a lot of true continuation reversals or even dumps start with those areas of consolidation first. So anyway, as we move into the end of the day, we will obviously make another assessment. We don't need to rush at the moment. Now, IWM did rush, and it did pop up after retesting its structure underneath it. We've tapped off of that 254, gapped up, held the floor at 257, and we have completely engulfed basically 2 weeks of price action that was trapped in range and over 265 because of the empty space directly up to 269. That might be a pretty juicy target over the weekend. Now, again, we're waiting and watching to see how we close, but if we close adamantly above 260 or holding onto this floor and up against 265.25, that could be a real possibility going into next week. So I like that push up against all that pressure. And again, IWM does its own thing, right? We also saw IWM up at the highs while Qs were dumping and while SPY was dumping. And then SPY and IWM hand in hand ripped into the highs, and Qs was left behind. All right. Some bot tried to mimic your account, just texted me. Okay, great time to tell you guys, I do not offer any copy trading. I do not DM you. I haven't even texted. I am a terrible texter and caller and DMer. So, like, there's no way that I just went out of my way to check on you and ask you how your trading day is going. I didn't do that. I can promise you that. There is no copy trading from me. Please don't get scammed. Please use your common sense. It's this page or Potter Stocks PBS on my other page, but that's it. Right. Yeah. All right. Now, going into next week, we do need to do this, kind of get an idea of what we're stepping into. So, 9th through the 13th here. Monday, we got FOMC members speaking. Tuesday, core retail sales and retail sales month over month. Wednesday, average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change and unemployment rate. And then Thursday, unemployment claims, core PPI, or CPI year over year and month over month. Again, I'm not really focused on these. I'm not a day trader. So but these can serve as catalysts as we are working with our chart. So if we see a setup and we see we have data coming in, this can serve as a catalyst, especially if something is already triggered. So the red folders are most important. Yes, the red folders are the most important. Now, I teach people that I do not use news, but I do want to be aware of the economic and earnings landscape that's in front of us, before I move into that week, because there are certain correlations that can be made with a market that has extended itself and going into a week where a lot of FOMC members are speaking. That's usually right away chop. They go hand in hand. So there's ways to kind of correlate price action, but it always starts with the chart, ends with the data. All right. All right, y'all. If you guys have anything you would like for me to take a look at, Ivy, will you post the earnings chart for next week if you can find it? I'll be honest, because I don't care what, but I will say I'm still down 8 or so grand from trading. Until I found Potter, I'll be back to profitable. Faith is real. Take your time, learn from your mistakes, forget what you knew. So, I mean, they know that. That's why, maybe that's, yeah, maybe that's why I'm such a dick to all of them. You know what I mean? It's just like, I know that if you're selling shit that way, I you don't give a fuck about nobody else but yourself, and sure, if you want to live that way, that's fine. But I'm gonna be a dick to you. Um, all right, so really quickly, let's take a look through next week, and this is Chalk the motherfucking fool, dude. And honestly, I like these. I like this. I don't know why. It just looks like a tray of candy or something. Look at it. All right, so Monday, we've got a decent little lineup on semiconductors, Amcore technology, Open Door. Those ones interest me. Upwork, which that one's dead in the water. Man, we got Coke, Spotify, Datadog. We got CVS, Hood, Lyft, Ford, Upstart. So we got a juicy Tuesday. Marriott. We're going to chart all of these, every single one of them. Shop, maybe we do that after hours, but Shopify, Unity, Kraft Heinz, T-Mobile, McDonald's, Oatly. How the hell is that even fucking publicly listed? I always forget it's a publicly listed company. Then when I remember, I'm like, no way. Oat milk. Anyway, APP, Cisco, QuantumScape, Fastly, Goatly. That's not a G. Coinbase, Pinterest. So we're going to chart through these, and we're definitely going to look, because I like some of these like tinier names. Pinterest is obviously one that we've been looking at. I think they might drive price down to make it a little bit cheaper. You should make this full screen compatible. I have to make this compatible with YouTube, Discord, and TikTok all simultaneously. So I really am left with no choice. I have to, yeah. All right, guys. Um, let's go ahead and drop your request if you do have anything. Please Spotify up, but not. Oh yeah, we did that one. Upstart earnings are next week. You are correct. We'll chart that one again. Did I already look at that one as well? No. Okay. So floor already being. You know what? That's a great start. That's a great start going in earnings. Now, what is the question? What is our watch list? You could write this down, by the way. This is how we actually chart. And if you're on TikTok and I miss your request, don't be, you can spam it. Just don't go crazy. But really quickly, uh, I'm not scared of earnings. It just has to have the same setup that I would trade on a normal basis. And all earnings is doing is fueling it. That's it. I usually typically buy out of the money hedges. So that way, if it does go in the opposite direction, I can not die. Now, that being said, how'd you get here? You punch through this box. What are you doing now? Recovering and back at that median. So how do we get out? We get out over $40. Where's the target there? Well, it's all empty space. So that would not likely, excuse me, shut your mouth. That would take us to 43.14. 43.14, and yes, that floor directly up above us. So that could be a potential earnings target. We have to obviously revisit that one. Is that? And that was not on Monday, right? No, it's not. Okay, so that's good. Z scalar. My God. Ooh. Oh. Oh boy, you better pray. Look how they massacred my boy. Trash. All right, so clearly that is he this, and that is that, and that is dead, and this is punching, and what is underneath you? A giant pocket leading straight to hell. And how do you get to hell? Well, you advertise day trading services. That's a good start, but you could also punch through this box, right, at 156.50 and move through 152. And that would probably get you into that pocket of empty space. Now, because you have earnings to fuel you and you have already dumped a metric ass ton, um, hold on, I fucked up. I fucked up. I'm going to show you guys where I fucked up. Why'd I do this? How'd I fuck up, y'all? Y'all see this? I fucked up. I'll show you how I fucked up. Too zoomed in. That was the box, right? We had one obviously underneath there, but that was the box. That's what we're underneath. And so any sort of recovery or retest on Zscaler would more than likely be at 180.50. That is and why am I focused on this? Because it's the most recent price action, which is very important. Oh, thank you guys for the gifts. You guys do not have to send me any gifts. I really appreciate it, though. I appreciate it. Save them for J Diamond. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. Amazon. All right. Weekly. Uh-oh. So this could be a perfect retest, right? In order for us to go up, right? We got to do more than touch butts. 211's been touched, but you pulled back. So that means there's probably more building. How do we find that out, y'all? Because we can't, there's no decisions that are being made off of just a green candle. We split it, right? Okay, not really seeing anything here either. What's that? Oh, you leaving? You leaving me? You're leaving me? You're taking everything? Oh, I do see the U-Haul out there. All right, fine. All right. Can you analyze my butt? I'm gonna let you know that's my wife, not girlfriend. He said show girlfriend after asking me to analyze his butt. I don't think that's what you really need to see, man. I can show you my boys, some of the homies. Sounds like it might be up your alley. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so Amazon on the lower time frame, it is being resilient, at least as we speak. So more than a retest, right? We have at the end of the day here slowly started to escape. Now, what we can do here is with the last 30 minutes is pay attention And yes, it's important for me to go down this far to where that empty space is at. So where are we at right now? Here. Oh, do you? I was gonna say I will follow you, but I already do. That's crazy. All right, so 208.25, which is what you're waking up right now. So as we get in the end of the day, you can use this because you definitely do not want to lose that. And if you can go back up, and that would make a stronger signal to take this long, which you would want. Otherwise, this could be an opportunity, maybe best taken. And man, I don't know why, but I see a gap up in here, but that might not be what you actually want, because if you gap up in that space and wick, you drop. But anyway, with that being said, it's just one candle and it did retest and tell you where bullishness is, and that is above 212. All right, let's see here. AMSC. I gave up after it dumped, but so if you're looking to take it up, right? Long like March calls. Uh for you, yeah, end of March. For you, yes. What is the best stock to buy, Mikey? That's not a real thing, man. 80 to 90% of stocks don't even hold their highs. So everything is temporary, man. Just like how rich people, does Nancy, I mean, yeah, Nancy Pelosi isn't holding positions long, like super duper long term. I guess 2 years for her, but she's buying these crazy leaps, and then so once they go in their highs, people start taking profit. So that changes. I don't even look at it best stocks, right? Because if you want to just throw your money into the market, you're better off with an ETF. Personally, I look for opportunities using my strategy, the same thing I use to trade, to swing trade. I use it on a higher time frame to buy stock, and this is something we did on INTC last year. Beautiful. I mean, it was just a no goddamn brainer. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Empty space. When you see this on a stock that BlackRock owns, all right? If you listen to anything I say, especially those of you guys who invest, like that right there is one of the first things that I look for on a stock that it's not, there's no question, right? And it's of its place in the market. It's just a matter of time. Same concept with Elf, right? Same concept with Nike. Same concept with Target, which, by the way, because Target's a French company, but yeah, or they were, I thought. Does Black Rome, probably, you could literally look it up. Risk of Iran bombing news this weekend could be scary. Yeah. Yeah. I am holding my shorts. I am. I am. But that may be subject to change as we near the end of the day. What would I like for next week's swing? I'll show you what I would like. I think that in order for us to get a nice, juicy reversal, we should come back down. We should bounce off this floor. We should chop it up, because what have we had? 3 days of consistent, solid dumpage. And after expansion, typically comes contraction. Now, I'll be honest with you, again, this is the floor, or excuse me, I got to get rid of everything because it gets dirty. So this, right here, that's bullish, right? That's categorically, folks, where the market goes up, right? Held, held, held. But what happens when it's not? Price fluidly moves up. So what do you think I'm thinking, right? That's where price is more than likely going to fluidly move up. And we're obviously nearing and getting very, very close to that mark. 610 would likely give us access to that next mark. So what's my favorite stock in your opinion to snipe? IWM. probably would be one of my favorite. The risk to reward on IWM is superior to a lot of different stocks, and boy, does that motherfucker run. All right, Abbott. So it's easy to get wrapped up in this channel, right? And the fact that it's trying to break, and I give it all the credit in the world for continuously fighting and closing candles outside of that. However, as we move down, it does look like the requirement is to be outside of 110.62, and that, yeah, that holds true across the board, giving you a 112 target directly overhead, and that's the only area a fake out could occur, are those two price targets there. So if just, I don't know if this is uh something that you're already in, but definitely with a good expiration, you'd be able to manage that. Abbott triggered. I mean, you look at it on the hourly, and it's kind of, it took you 3 hours to get to the high. That's not cool. All right. IWM, can you show? I've never heard of it. I am under a rock. No way. Oh man. My members are gonna be mad at me for dripping the sauce. Yeah, IWM is contracts can cost between $13 to $35 a piece for target-based contracts, and I mean a lot of the 1,000% gains that are inside of the Discord are there. So um, on IWM, you'll actually, yeah, if you end up seeing our Discord or anything like that, a lot of people, let's look at that, trade that, and you'll see the cost of those contracts, $26, sold at 122 a piece. So you don't have to risk a lot to make a lot. What I say, yeah, IWM out of all of the ETFs, right? Well, I can't really speak for SPY because SPY did, at least when I last looked at it, it definitely has a strong possibility of making it over that collar at 192 and into that 690, or what the fuck, over that 691.75. I don't know where that randomness came from, but and then yeah, you do have this tremendous pocket of little resistance up above you. So, oh shit, my bad. I keep doing that. Yeah, so Spy, I just don't like how much it exhausted itself. Usually this calls for some sort of pullback, even if it's just a retest, something like that. That would be kind of sick. Yeah. All right, had to reel in every trade small caps on the top gainers list. Oh, the top gainers? Nah, man. Nah. Nah, top gainers is like, I mean, like, yeah, sometimes you'll catch one that's just starting to like move, or maybe it has a big 24-hour, but nah, I don't do that one. All right. Keep dropping your requests if you have anything you want me to take a look at. Also, if you're on TikTok, this is all free. So if you guys don't mind tapping your screen, I really do appreciate it. It's a new account, so I would say just go for donkey right there. When you hit donkey, aim for donkey. Do red candles trigger you? Not in the way you'd think. I love them. I love red candles. All right, AMD. Do I think it has more downside? Not at the moment. No. No, I think you got retest before you got anything else, and that would be 211.72. Surely, these are the same QQQ shorts that I was in to begin with. I now again, I told you guys I've trimmed half of that, and I'm still green, but yeah, those are the same. I still think I'm right. All right, so Speeda support swing. What the fuck is that? We talked about this one a while ago. Now that stock is like blended spaghetti noodles. It's ugh. Now it does, I think, clear up here, and so again, whenever you lose something, your bullish signal is on the reclamation of it. Have you lost it? No, you're sitting there, but underneath 1618, that's where cost basis is at 15, and that's where you'll fall if you lose today's low. So if you want to go higher, it's going to start by recovering the first floor to your left, which does appear to be 1716. You're on the right track, but technically not there. So I've kind of find it interesting, right? So look at the bear market, right? Look at the candles. Watch this. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? All these 1, 2, and then you just kind of sideways here, even here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're kind of barely getting up there. Now, somebody honking in front of my house. And what did you bounce off of? 1650, right? No, he didn't. All right. Now, go over here. This is in a bullish trend. Look how the candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? 1, 2, little pause. I mean, that is obviously the difference between what we're seeing here. Now, as far as structure directly up above you, so I'm just calling this, at least for now, it is a little weak. This is the range. So I would be looking at 17 and 1732 as two areas to not only push into, but push past. And that's going to take that kind of momentum in order to do it.
Hey, did you check ARM?
I did.
Sorry.
No, you're right. But as far as I can tell, man, on the 24-hour, obviously huge. There is some, right? You got that floor right there, this floor right here, and just a wick or two, 125.50. But man, I tell you what, it does look good for a retest of 132. That is an incredible punchback that you're pushing through as we speak and pushing at them. So yeah, I would say, actually, I'll give you two targets because there is confluence at 170 or 127, excuse me, and 131.50. So no, I don't think so, Brendan. I mean, the market, that's the way the market runs is that, right? And then everybody's narration of that is, I've seen all of Twitter agree that like some dumbass stock was a bull flag and just watched it die. So like, all right, let's see here. What do I make of AKR? I'm up almost 90% going into earnings on Monday on close. Got it. Okay. 24. So you're leaving, yeah, dude, I'm gonna be honest with you, that does look pretty good, because your weekly candle is looking to close after that solid retest of the gap underneath you. And it's just this structure right here that you're looking to move through. So essentially over 5260, it does look good. Um, if you did want to hedge, you could look at it maybe like a 38 would be a retest area underneath you. Oh, damn. J. Cole released a video 2 minutes ago.
Surprised you're not playing the whole album today.
I'm gonna listen to it after anybody wants to listen. After hours, maybe I'll hop on there. Mm, all right. All right, let's keep it. Let's push this forward. I'm gonna again trying to look for solid setups. Now Tesla, like we talked about this morning, is hanging on to that floor. Right now, I want to explore again how that price has been moving up and what's directly in front of you. And this could be Tesla's chance, right? I think probably last chance. So if you go up and we experience failure, I don't really think we get many more chances until we pull back. Now, that being said, this floor, which you are heading up to right now, has not been secured, but it is 416. There is empty space inside of that, all the way into basically cost basis, which is at 420, 150. That is the punchback that you need to get Tesla rolling in the right direction. That is what you need to see. And as of right now, and I have, again, yeah, and that honestly, that is the first green candles. 122.20 is the first green candles to your left. So absolutely, that lower time frame analysis backs up my higher time frame green candle closes for that retest. I like TradeStation. Definitely still a candidate, brother, because all of the effort, I still could see Netflix going short. Now you're still standing up in the face of all of these rejections, which eventually you cannot hold. So, is there anything right now that's triggering or saying that we're going to fall? I cannot say yes at all, right? There definitely is not. There also isn't any signal saying that we go up, right? We're in between the two. And so, with that being said, knowing that there's also empty space in here, right? It is over 182.50 that's up, and it is back down and underneath basically $80 whole that we're looking down. So, dude, everything is about to drop again. I hope so.
Hey, Garrett,
Yeah, what's up?
regarding Netflix, I think the DOJ is officially like sent them like a whatever a notice or something like that. There was a tweet that came out from Walter.
Yeah, I
So
remember that. Is Netflix going to retest 8260 before going down, or is the play over? I'm confused. No, I mean, regardless of the news, I mean, you can have negative news like that come out and then they'll run it back up. But when I look at this setup at the moment, Netflix is obviously exhausting either sellers at this buy floor or pulling the volume off of that floor. And yeah, we can see that reversal. But right now we are well above 80-20, or excuse me, sorry, 80-50. So that is, again, where we would want to see price retrace, but there's no signal necessarily saying that we're about to punch up. And there's not any, and I have that encapsulated because on the higher time frame it does make sense, but it's actually here, right? So from here, I would be looking for a trade up to 84.15 if you're bullish. And then again, if that retest occurs and fails, which right now we're starting to move back up, but Neo, what have you reclaimed? Empty. And Trump's about to meet with Xi Jinping, right? When is that supposed to be happening? Maybe get some Neo cars over here. I see 540. I see 540, but I'm gonna be honest with you. If you get back outside of here, which is basically 530, and you could, and especially 540, but yeah, you might be able to resurge back up into the 640s and 660s. So, all right, let's see here. We've got PLCR. So like everything else, right? Good bounce today, but nothing reclaimed. So this one does possibly fall into candidacy of potentially being choppy or building sideways, which it is no stranger of doing. Again, you need structure, right? If you look at this bounce right here, you're bouncing and you don't have anything but empty space up above you, but you also aren't pulling enough volume up to fill that space up. So you build the structure you need before you go. And so if we don't have that structure now, we'll see PLTR more than likely peel back before coming back up. But it is absolutely 140.50 that we can get that trade started to the upside. Death can have me when he earns me. I just think of Kratos from God of War.
Read it, boy.
Read it, boy. That game changed my life a little bit, dude. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Sometimes I'd be thinking about, saying some mean shit to somebody online, and I hear Kratos be like, "We must be better." But I just hit send and then I close my eyes. Thank you, Ellie. I love you.
Not a Jesus take the wheel moment. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right, what else? Let's keep moving. It's 3:50. Holy shit, time is flying. How many of you guys want to chart all of the earnings, or at least most of them? Anybody want to hang out? Chart earnings?
Sure.
All right, never mind. Do you see that? My friends used to do that to me. Right there. You guys want to hang out? And they'd be like, eh.
I said, sure.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
You
man,
did
we're
that
getting
to me,
your
didn't you,
food.
Baba Yaga? No, I was playing. Nah, but Andrew did.
We can bring peanut butter sandwiches and chart.
Peanut butter sandwiches. I'll show you peanut butter sandwiches.
Get our mouths all gummy and we can't even talk.
You're giving me I'm visceral reactions right now. All right, so Kratos therapeutics defense. This is definitely not therapeutic at all. I do like this. Obviously, bouncing beautifully off of structure. You have a green candle directly up in front of you at 97.75, and that on the lower time frame is filled with empty space. So I think you have a relatively easy move up to 105 and 108. Now, of course, there is a possibility that we see continuation because, again, what are signs that something can continue to go? Less resistance, right? I mean, that's true in life. I mean, so because of these pockets, right, that I see of empty space in here, that might not be a bad little journey to the upside. Don't hate it all. All right. I know, yeah, if anybody has IWM, that does look, especially now being over that median, that does look like a 168.82. That is where the empty space is, 169.28 to be specific. And that's next week outside of 266.71. But by God, if you haven't reclaimed everything that you needed to reclaim, what do those contracts look like? Probably they're cheap. That's one of the cool things, man, is they just usually I have seen IWM tip the scales, but better have good aim. So you could get away with 270s. Now, what do you think your chances are of retesting something come Monday morning? Right? No straight lines. All of these floors. So if you're feeling like, well, I want to be sure here, you can, right? Either A, buy 271s, 270s, and keep it cheap and keep it low risk, or you can take a stronger position, right, off of a retest, come Monday morning, especially if we were outside of 265. That could be good. Oh, sorry, guys, I'm charting on the wrong one. But yeah, so right here on IWM, again, floor has been recovered. If you look at the hourly, right, we're well over 264. But one of these areas, and you would want this to happen. If you're bullish, you would want that right there, which is 266.77. If you gap up to it, which kind of feels like you might, what do you think we're doing? Right? If we gap up to this, coming straight back down. So, Potter, I'm holding Starbucks and Amazon, but I'm scared of taking them over the weekend. All I need you to do is whisper that it's going to be okay and I'll be happy. I mean, what are you tripping about, though? You know? Because I know you're already in. Probably a little bit. Probably like a couple days past that.
Matt call out. Nice job, Mate.
Another what?
Another Matt play.
Matt
He was
play?
on fire.
Damn.
Starbucks.
Let's go, Matt. Yeah, dude. I mean, obviously this is empty space, but I mean, with this kind of close, should we expect price to probably gap up? You know, obviously with market cooperation, yeah. What is this person saying? Listen, I don't know what you're saying. Korean name. I can't read that. So we're gonna just shh. All right, let's see here. 5 minutes left. If you had a good week, okay. I don't think that there's anything extraordinary. I mean, we do have Trump. Trump is alive. So the market obviously had, you know, there's certain stocks and stuff like that. But and I'm watching here. Oops. As we're shying away. Huh?
So up or down?
You said up or down? Potter, did we expect SPY to pump up? I did expect a bounce off of everything that we've hit. I mean, yes, I mean I did expect a bounce. And especially with overnight price action last night when I watched, or yesterday when I watched both the Qs keep falling. It was like that first time, when I first went short, right? How big of a rip did we see then? Hold on. Actually, to prove my own point, right? If we look back at QQQ and we look, right? We gapped down, touched a red candle, and you would have thought that the whole economy was fucking saved. Nope. But anyway. I don't think that this is a strong enough bottom. No, I don't, you know. No, I don't. I don't think this is a strong enough bottom. Your glutes are weak. Like, you didn't build, there's no structure. So any sort of, loss of, structure could definitely lead us back down. And it might come after some serious retest back up to the upside. But, you don't need to take a position if you don't feel comfortable, because it's not like any of these are Potter box punchbacks into empty space. There is empty space on IWM. That is the only one I'll say yes. But all right, I got 2 minutes here. I got to manage a few things really quickly. Hold on. A lot of empty space. So listen, this weekend, Sunday, when we do our charting session on TikTok, YouTube, that's where it's important that you be there, because with all of this empty space back up above us and futures being open, we will be able to see and start building a game plan. So I hope everybody's there on Sunday. Yeah. Yeah, I still have a few positions. And I'm up fat on target though. Yeah, we're getting close to business here on target. But I think that this This one's might just be getting started here. All right, that is close enough. So 617. 617. QQQ. I'm using QQQ 617 calls for February 10th. And I'm using that to hedge my position. Oh, sorry. SMR does have a golden opportunity when you get out of this range. Yeah, I would say, yeah, actually, it does look pretty. Potter just says random stuff and y'all listen. What's up? I know who you are. Couldn't stand it, could you? You had to come. You couldn't help it. With your tiny little fucking beady eyes. Potter just says stuff. uh,
Hey Potter,
yeah, what's up?
could you take a look at SM once you're done charting that one?
Yeah, for sure. All right, Anthony. Oh,
Thank you.
sorry. And Baba Yaga. You peep this. Ooh. So yes, there is a potential golden opportunity. I actually really like that one. It's kind of sad. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Longer expiration because this is a little choppy, right? That's not just flushing green candles. But that right there, 2091. Jesus. Right. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. CCL up? Yeah, I got you. That one actually already hit the target. If you guys have CCL, that $34 target, beautiful. So next week, yes, we would be looking for a gap up retest of that open, and you don't have anything in front of you until you hit 3660. So it looks really, really good. Really, really good. All right, what else do we got? CCL up. We're gonna start charting earnings here in just a second. So YouTube, I'll restart the video, or I mean, I'll end this video because I don't want them to be in the same section. So I'll figure it out actually. All right, let's see here. Beam. Oh, Michael. Nice, dude. Juicy. Don't tell Alex Trades. Don't tell him. He'll call me a scammer. Oh my God, what are you having me look at right here? Ugh. Ugh. My eyes. What the fuck? Beam Therapeutics? Jeez Louise, boy. So you failed. You failed in a great way, and you have lost that 2842 that you worked so hard to break over. So Beam could be over. It could be over and done with under 2150. But I'm gonna be honest with you. This is not anything that you would ever catch me dead trading unless I knew something. If you can break out maybe 50, but this is hot dog water. Oh, is that Beam Leora Nuclear? I'm not picking that up, dude. Small cap bios are trash. IWM is not trash. It's the juiciest. Look at that weekly candle. Hot diggity damn, dude. Mmm. That's juicy. All right. Discord, do you guys have anything else? You said SM, that's right. Okay. SM Energy. Not bad. Not bad. Weekly. Not bad as well. Beautiful, actually. That held you down. That's 1, 2, 3. Third time's a charm. Nothing but weekly empty space. Trade box to box. Split that empty space in half. Don't overcomplicate your stupid charts. 2250 and 2455. That's a good setup. That's a beautiful chart right there. You said DXTS is running? Why? I don't do all-time lows. And I also don't trade things that have hot dog water volume. But, I mean, yeah, I don't trade all-time lows, so I don't have any analysis on this one. Dox me. My bad. LRCX. Kenny, I agree. Yep, we are waiting for the real move next week. You don't slam into support and not see a fucking. You don't slam into 600 or 599 and not see a fucking liquidity event. I mean, or whatever you want to call it. Lamb Research. You called out GT and it finally hit. I did. Okay, cool. Oh. Damn, yeah. Nice little pocket of empty space in there. Again, how does it rip through empty space? Pretty fast. Not bad. Ivy, when you did that, it made a $sign go over your, like, in the chat, and then it looked like a bug. That shit kind of freaked me out, actually. It was like a little $sign, but it, like, scurried across your screen. I'm gonna punch my own computer. Come on. I hate when people, bro, I know those, man, that's weird. That's weird. That's weird. That's weird. All right, let's see here. So, I mean, yes, floor has been secured, 227.50. 50% mark of that range would be 235.80. The 2-hour supports 245.85 being the potential trigger up and out of this box. So I'm looking at CHTR Charter Communications 24-hour time frame. Sunday is Bad Bunny. I'd rather have Bad Bunny than Kid Rock. I'm gonna be honest with you. Dude, I don't know how that motherfucker got away with that shit. Everybody forgets that bar. What did he say? What did Kid Rock say? He says, I like them underage. Some say that's statutory. I say that's mandatory. Put one right in your head. The fuck out of here. If that's American, well, I mean, after these files, dude, it might be.
Yep.
Fuck Kid Rock, dude. The fuck? Good. Hell yeah, dude. It's the youth that's got the fucking. They ain't got shit to lose. They already lost it. I see Charter hitting your wick, which would also simultaneously be. I haven't done an analysis on this in a while, and I can tell you I know why, because I don't use orange, thick, big lines anymore. I think I was doing that while I was teaching. But with this being said, yes, there is empty space in front of you, and yes, this is a powerful weekly candle, and so I would be looking at a 255 target to the upside. Yes, I do, Sparkle. Bad Bunny's fire, dude. I love Bad Bunny. I don't know what he's always saying, but I get the vibe. I'm a vibe guy. Yeah. Yeah. What's up, brother? What's up? What's up? All right. Anything else? Anybody have any other requests? Happy to take them. Just need to see them now. Because I'm going to start charting earnings. I want to make
Let's see your
a...
feet.
Look
That's...
at Marvel.
Let's get this guy out of here. All right. Marvel Weekly. So remember, that's a death candle. A lot of the times, same thing kind of... So you got those two death candles off of that green candle right there. But now what do you have down here? Kind of the same thing. Pulling yourself back up. Pulling yourself back over that. That's pretty, that's definitely not what those sellers were intending to do when they drove price down. And now we move here. And yes, there is, I mean, it is a little crazy, I'll be honest with you, but it is, nope. Yep. Okay. And then we're gonna, boom, bada bing. Please let's get a sure signal that has lots lower than $2 per sure signals. If you're taking signals, you're prolonging your own success in the market, and yeah, got to learn. So for the way that I see it, there's again not a lot of resistance overhead. You have secured your floor, so we're gonna again stick to the system. The system says that we need to punch through the 50% mark, which I have as 82.15. And then, of course, departing 85, I think the first target overhead would be in the $90 mark. And, of course, the overhead 92.63. So pop. And then into there. TR. Gold Corporation. So, I mean, that's some weak ass candles there, and that makes absolutely no sense. Doesn't really help me with much. 4 hour makes more sense than anything else. So I really wouldn't even be bothering with the 24 hour. The 2 hour. Oh, okay. Now I see what was really going on. You had a box like so. You pushed out, and whatever that gap up couldn't sustain. And again, this is a perfect look at what it means when you fall into structure and you can't get out, right? The cage. Talked about it this morning. So sellers step up, they're adamant about holding price down, cost basis is fought over, and you punch down. So now we have a reclaim of the floor and we're at cost basis. So this is the only play, well, the old cost basis, right? So does that give us a signal? No, it does not. Now we also can focus on the most recent price action and know that yes, the same points of contact within that box are also going to be still relevant, but they don't trigger a new high, unfortunately. However, that could 170 and outside of 177 would be my for sure. Now, what do you have up above you? Not much. So you're really trading the trend. Damn, that's perfect. Look at that shit. Ugh. This is just the stock market, my friend. This is just the stock market. All right. Sky Stitch. I'm going to start practicing paper trading this weekend. Do you have a recommendation? TradeView. So TradingView is just where we chart. They might actually have a paper trading thing now. I'm not 100% sure, but yes, that's. I mean, I used any brokerage you sign up for. A lot of them have paper trading, including mine, which has or trade station. And I like that one. Obviously, there's Thinkorswim and stuff like that, but you could set your account up and obviously have that ready to go. TradingView does have paper. Oh, no way. Okay, well then, I don't know if it has paper with it. What are you planning on trading, Sky? So to get in the class, I need to get the workshop package and upgrade membership. What did you get? Are you monthly? Yes, you are. Okay. Yeah, I'll give it back to you. Yeah, you would want to get the workshop. Um, you know what, Ivy? Anybody who's getting the workshop for this class in particular, um, or has in the last since I've made this announcement the last 2 weeks, go ahead and just give them 2 months. Anybody, just throw on 2 months. Fuck it. And if you're out there and you don't have a membership, but you do have the workshop, DM me. I'll hook you up too. Fuck it. I'm just learning. I think future sounds simplest. I've been watching videos for a few days. Just found me though. Um, and again, if you're on TikTok, I'm not trying to reel you in to buy my shit. You can go to my YouTube channel and you can go watch this for free. Um, but to get back to your question, the workshop is chronological order, and we're going to be teaching it all the way through. There's no trading or interrupting. It's a focus strictly on that. It's probably going to take about 2 weeks because I'm going to move from start to finish, from the very bottom all the way till what we do now. And I'm going to be walking, and it's going to be live. So everybody who's in there will be able to unmute themselves, raise their hand, ask a question, and then I will elaborate and answer your question before I move on. And I will ask before we move on from that chapter, what questions do you have? And it was actually pretty funny because we had a whole class that was damn near just me answering questions, which I have nothing better. What am I going to be doing? Obviously the kids, but this is an hour and a half out of my time and we're good. So, but sorry, Sky Stitch, to answer your question, prop firms, or futures in general, I really think it's all marketing. I don't think they have your best interest at heart. Of course, right? Because prop firms, their main goal is for you to lose. They need you to lose. They need the majority of people to be losing in order for them to be profitable, right? And it's only the few that slip through the cracks and get payouts. It's funny because the people who are getting payouts in our Discord or do use prop firms, they're kind of quiet about it, which is cool. But the people who do win are typically the ones who are advertising and have their codes in their profile, or they just show a gain. And but that being said, it's going to make your journey that much harder. So I always tell people, especially if you don't have a lot of money, options and my system and focusing on higher time frame setups only and swing trading is going to slow everything down. And it's going to take a lot of anxiety away. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be gone, but you're a human being. But there are a lot of swing trades that we take where, most, if not all of the move is made overnight. And then a lot of the times it's the morning that we're just taking profit, and all that day trading anxiety, I'm selling to them, which is probably one of my favorite things to do. So what do I trade? I trade options. Feel free to, DM and I'll send you or go to my YouTube channel. Actually, that would probably help. And you can literally go in there, and I do have a couple of videos, kind of breaking that down. But terminology wise too, PayPal dying, probably. I haven't looked at it today, but yeah. Sorry, I was losing my train of thought there. So actually, the fact that you can kind of say, I'm still new to this, take your time, because a lot of people could try to get you, kind of rush you into it. And a lot of the times day trading just naturally does that to somebody because you constantly feel like you're missing out constantly. And then then you get whiplash, then you make an emotional decision. So the only reason that I'm here, the only reason that I made it, I quit because of my problem with day trading. I swung, I made money, I would get it to 10K. In my mind, that was where I could day trade, and then I would blow it. And then I did it again with $80 or $100. I would swing trade, be really patient, stick to my rules. And then I'd get to 10K, and I'd say, well, now it's time to be a day trader. And then I'd lose my ass. And I did that until $80,000 of my unrealized gains, when I had only really put in about 3,500, was gone. So, through that pain, I realized, well, what the fuck I was doing was working, but I just decided all of a sudden that I need to be a day trader. Why? Why? So I can risk more and take less when I'm getting more and spending less? Tell me how that makes any sense. I want to make sure I'm knowing kind of what I'm doing for sure. Logic over emotion. You got a good head on your shoulders. That's going to help. Most issues, and I will say this, ladies a lot of the times are somehow they manage their emotions far better than men. I'm not speaking for everybody, but it can be a thing. But
Boy, ape.
Man, dudes are emotional, right? If I step on, dude, I've stepped on a dude's shoes and he tried to fight me. That's emotional. Come on now.
My shoes, we fighting for sure.
You step on my shoes, dude. Might make you clean them. It depends on what shoes are.
It's about to be a fight out this world.
Well, why are your feet so damn big, dude? Walking around here like a clown. Walk on, you know what? Get some steel-toed Air Force Ones and spray them with that oil stuff that keeps the stains off of them.
Hey, Potter, thanks for shepherding us through the Valley of Stocks in another week.
Yes, man. Of course. It seems like you had a pretty good one, dude.
On Sunday.
Yeah, I'll see you on.
Okay.
You did okay? Good.
Yeah.
Today was.
Hawks on Sunday.
Oh, that's right.
Patriots.
Oh my God. I forgot the
Pats.
I forgot. I think it's so funny because it seems like everybody wants the Pats to lose. I don't watch oh fuck. So I'm supposed to do Sunday live on the Super Bowl. That's not gonna fly.
Yeah, you might want to do it early.
Yeah, we're gonna move the time. But then, what time is the Super Bowl?
3:30 West Coast. So
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Shit. That sucks.
Well, we could do a drunken episode afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've done a couple of drunk.
Everybody's lit.
That shit was fun last time. It's been a while. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah. So I don't.
Cheers, you guys.
Yeah. Have a good weekend, man.
Everyone. See you Sunday.
Yes. So I'll be live. I guess just put the Super Bowl on next to you, man. So we'll still. I don't watch the Super Bowl like that. Yeah. So I'll be here, but we'll still do it at 6 o'clock. I'll start at 6, and we'll just try to move through it as quickly as possible. I gotta do it. I have to do it when futures open because why would I can't, you know what I mean? I can't start. Basically, I would just do it now. If I was to start Sunday prep now, I could just do it now, right? Because price, maybe when price settles a little bit more, but it would still be the same stock market that I'm looking at now. So for me, I want to see what overnight price action has brought, and then we got it. So what's my YouTube? My YouTube is right here, my bay. And this does have those of you guys on TikTok. What are we doing here? Right here, Potter Stocks Trading. Go to the educational playlist. No, I don't trade crypto, but quite a few people in my Discord do it quite successfully. So yeah, my system works for markets, like markets. Hey kids, I like that. I like that. No shit. You tapped 611.50 on the dot and immediately back down. How do I attend the workshop? Uh-oh, I'm reconnecting.
That's good, right?
What? What's good?
That it tapped 611 and came back.
Yes, for me.
Because that would provide a move. Oh, crap. I was thinking that would help
Oh,
provide a move up, right?
oh shit! He said, "Oh crap." Yeah, remember, dude. I still have half of that short.
The 590.
Yeah, it tapped my target overnight. What was I supposed to do? You know, not much I could really do. I mean, I could have just gotten out, but I still. We are way the fuck far away from where I started this short. You know, again, we're up here, so I know where I can't go. I know what we do not need to happen, but I also am very aware that if this is the top, then where's the bottom? If this is the top and we just got pulled back in it, oi, and we punch down through this box. So just real quick, I'll show you guys part of what I anticipate to move down, right? If you have a box or a range, just like, hold on, TikTok, I got you. Take a look at that, right? If we drop, which more than likely right now you'll probably retest, but if you drop through this box, you are guaranteed through the 50% mark a new low. And at that point, you'd be back at 606. But I'm telling you right now that if this is a wide 24-hour range, we could be coming right the fuck back down. And again, before you guys, I lose too many of you, take a look here. All right, let's go experiment. Like I was saying before, big green candles in a bear market does not guarantee that you're going to keep going, especially with a lack of structure. It's not easy, right? And so big reversals do not always mean that the reversal has to accomplish something, right? And that's one of the tools that I use in order to not make or jump into trades. I find, okay, well, this level across the board, resoundingly, when you get above it, you go up. When you go below it, you go down, right? We'll just keep it simple. And then here, right, this was our cost basis that we gapped down to when I took the short, right? Came back and retested. And so what are we doing? We just retested that exact same cost basis that we flushed through. So is it guaranteed? No. And if we are bearish, right, if this market is going to turn over and you go look at any downtrend, is it filled with just bearishness? No. There are retests that occur. You can zoom in on these candles. Look, boom, touches and 24-hour candles. Look, the bottoms and the tops of 24-hour. And if you're new here, by the way, everybody's going to teach you to use the daily. And the daily encapsulates price action from 9:30 to 4 o'clock. And that's mostly trading volume because smart money comes in after hours or is in after hours. So pre-market, after hours, and that is information that somebody, I mean, I'm not going to say who I think it is, but somebody out there just was like, no, let's just focus on the trading volume, the volume that doesn't stick. What? Why am I looking at dark pool orders then that come in after hours? Come on now. Come on now.
Hey, Potter, can you zoom in on your, like, make your 30-minute chart the full screen for a second?
Go.
Yeah, just have one, yeah. Thanks.
Hold on.
I had my floor a little bit lower, and I was just trying to see how you. Okay, bet. Got it.
Where the hell? I hate when that happens. There we go. I tell you what, it retested that exact same mark though, baby. Fuck it, you sound like Kendall Roy. I do? Who the fuck is that? Oh, but I got called fine today 3 times on TikTok. I was taken aback. I'm off the market, you know what I mean? I've been shorted and taken profit upon. And my contract has expired.
Painfully, I know you've said this to her before. I just know it.
In different words.
Yeah, you throwing some market talk. You
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. I'm taking profit, baby.
fill the gap didn't come up a month ago. We know that.
Ridiculous. All right. Now let's get this chart back. Right. So, anything else? Anybody have any questions for me? New or stock related? Let me see. Did I miss it?
T-Mobile?
Did I play T-Mobile?
No, no. Can you look at T-Mobile?
Oh.
T-Mus.
Said I'd rather play in a little castle made of broken glass naked before I play T-Mobile again. I'd rather go down a water slide made of asphalt. But let's look at it. So that was a box. That is a unequal high, right? There's nothing else up there, so I'm wrong. Clearly. So let's look at where I went wrong. I didn't focus on that. You popped out. You retested. You pulled back. And you got what? Captured and held down. Driving price underneath. And so what's happening right now really isn't anything other, right, than you testing that range. We cannot call it a box. We can't. We cannot call something with 3 on the bottom and 1 off the top a box. We can't. That's a mutant. So looking at this right now and knowing that we have 2 candles side by side right by the floor, I'm going to guess that there's a box there. I would be correct. Range box, same thing. So that's money, baby. That's money, dude. Again, the 50% mark of even ranges are going to contain the volume. Now, you've already pulled off of it once, and now you're closing flat up against it. So there is a probability with a move down underneath 194 that empty space that you left behind could be filled. Press it on you. I saw that the stocks associated with war are going up. There has been, some more stocks going up. I mean, there's lots of fighting happening right now, so all over the world. Women are actually better competitive shooters. They're able to keep their body still and have better body alignment. That makes a lot of sense. That's how Peyton got me with the tranquilizer gun. Just joking, just jokes. No tranks. All right. Stop losses are typically placed, like, for example, if you would have taken this one long, any candle close underneath it at 199.64, typically my stop losses are centralized around cost basis or the top of boxes on the upside, or if I'm short, the bottom and cost basis of the boxes above me. Can I help you look at KGO? What do you want to do with that? I remember when you shorted Facebook all the way down to 100. Do you think Mag 7 is going to drop like that? CIA on TikTok USA. I remember you. Also, what the hell is KGO? I don't think I have that. Lunar Crush? What the hell is this, my boy? What is this? With posts that have interactions? The percentage of total social volume that this topic what the fuck? Do you think Mag 7 is going to drop like that? I do think, yeah, I mean, especially when, if this administration leaves, I feel like we return to Earth, if I'm being 100% honest, because the age of delusion is over. Well, I mean, fuck if I know. All right. Now, if anybody would like, I'm going to go ahead and start charting some earnings up here. We'll go ahead and end this on YouTube. You guys are welcome to hop over, and I'm going to record this for YouTube to post later. But sure, abstract creatives? No, I don't. But I do trade IWM, which I mean, this shit might as well be leveraged because the contract prices are extremely cheap, so you can be low risk and then high reward. How long do I usually hold my swing trades? I would say on average they're about 2 to 3 days, sometimes just overnight. There has been trades last year that were held for weeks. CoreWeave was held for when we took that one. That one was held for, I mean, shit, if you look right here, we had to consolidate for a few days. We pulled back, chopped, and then it ripped again. But that original rip to that 103, it took a little bit of time. Celsius was also another one of, well, that trade was fucking perfect. And by the way, this is just another example of one of the setups that we look for. It's always centralized around things that look like this. We want something that has dumped because empty space gets filled and it touches the first green candle to the left in that empty space. And so I don't have time for little baby day trade or baby scalps as my main priority trading. I'm looking for these higher time frame setups that look like that and are coming out of their bases. Am I worried about IWM pulling down into that empty space? Am I worried? No, I'm not worried. There's two areas that are acting supports here. Obviously at 264.30 and at 263.40. So it's do you have stocks that are primed to fill empty space? That's what I'm hunting for now. All right, let's see. PayPal. Yeah, this is already on YouTube. Gold is crazy, man. I mean, but I've watched traders make generational wealth on that shit. So, and now you got all the people chasing it, trying to pick up the scraps. PayPal, you got a gap down there, which doesn't make me feel very good. But right now you need $41, and then you would have this small range that you'd be looking to break. So really above 41.77, this thing could start ripping. All right. Podcast? No, I don't have a podcast. I'm not that interesting. Plus, the way that I trade is pretty fucking straightforward, so I haven't really yap about it. That's no way, bro. Dude, he got caught too. That's another one. Shameless, dude. Absolutely shameless. I don't know why this picture makes look his arm is like 25% of his entire body mass. All right, let's I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Bam. On